Money Matters. Rachel Kennedy here, live in the studio. Personally want to thank you for logging in today and watching today's show. Ask you to go and tell someone that Real Money Matters is on the air, and we are here to discuss your money issues today. As we prepare for today's show, I want you to grab your favorite drink, your tea, your coffee, juice or milk, even water, whatever it is that you like to sip on while you're learning and gaining knowledge of today's topics and subjects that we will be discussing today here on Real Money Matters. Find something, take some notes. We want to get your pens, your pencils, your notepads, or whatever it is that you use, your tablets, to take down some notes. Maybe I'll say something that will spark an interest or provoke a thought for you concerning your finances, because we are going to help you to gain control of your finances and help you to develop a budget, yes, the B word, that works for you. So I welcome your comments. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to email me at Rachel R. Kennedy, Real Money Matters at RachelRKennedy.com. I welcome all your comments and your questions. Your questions and your comments, they matter to me. So I want you to do that. I'd love to hear from you. I want to mention a current event that is taking place tomorrow. That is, we're celebrating a wonderful, powerful man named Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 50 years ago, he marched in Detroit and he did his famous speech, I Have a Dream. It didn't start in Washington, it started in Detroit. So I'm going to be there. Hopefully I'll see you there. I just want to read this here, what the WXYZ had said about Dr. Martin Luther King in this march. History will be commemorated on June the 22nd, which is tomorrow, which scores the Metro Detroiters will walk to honor. We're going to walk to honor Dr. Martin Luther King and his famous Detroit Walk to Freedom. It's a celebration, and even the spirit of Detroit is getting in on the tribute. So it's going to be a T-shirt marking the occasion, even on the spirit of Detroit. We're going to march in his honor tomorrow. And those of you, many who are unaware that his famous speech is deeply moving, I Have a Dream, and I know you all are familiar with that. It was debuted in Motown, yes, right here in the city of Detroit, on August the 28th. Well, actually, in Motown, it was previewed at June the 23rd. 1963, and it was given in Washington on August the 28th in 1963. So it came here to Detroit first. So we're going to be commemorating that 50 years of history, the NAACP, and we all will be down there tomorrow. So hopefully we'll see you there as we commemorate this great man, Dr. Martin Luther King, on tomorrow. I encourage you to come and join us. If you're not there, hope to see you there. I'll be there. As always, here on Real Money Matters, I want you to know that your money matters. It matters what you make. It matters what you spend. It matters what you save. It matters how you manage what has been trusted into you. And on Real Money Matters, we have been doing a countdown for Christmas. Yes, Christmas matters also. I want you to make your list. Last week I gave you some pointers and tips on how to save towards Christmas. Did you consider any of those tips? Have you implemented any of those tips? And I'm going to go over a few of them. We have 187 days. That sounds like a lot, but before you know it, it will be over. We're almost at the end of June. Next week, we'll be entering the last week of June, headed into July. And in July, we have the 4th of July holiday. And guess what? That's money too. Have you budgeted in the 4th of July for your into your budget? Because many people, they go to have picnics, or they go to the park, or they may travel out of town. You have to consider that. That's extra money on your budget. So everything, every holiday, every event, all these things, I told you, they affect your budget. Every month, there's something different going on, and you have to budget for that. So in July, we have the 4th of July, Independence Day, and many people celebrate with family reunions and different things, so it's going to cost extra money that you would normally have spent in June, this month. But getting back to Christmas, yes, getting back to Christmas, make sure, hopefully you've looked into, investigated, perhaps starting a Christmas fund with a financial institution where you have money automatically going into that account, realizing that once it's there, they won't release those funds to November. That is a wonderful, fantastic way to save toward Christmas. And then there's also the envelope system. I mentioned that to you as well. And the envelope system, you have to be disciplined in order to implement that. And someone says, well, I missed the show. What is the envelope system? That is just getting a plain envelope and mark it Christmas fund. And every week, be consistent. Put $5, $10. Put something in it every week, no less than $5. And you'll see that money grow and accumulate. And you have created what I call a Christmas fund in the envelope. And so be disciplined. Only use that money for your Christmas gifts that we're going to be preparing a list for. Perhaps you can start purchasing them now when they're on sale. You cannot use that money for gas or for food or entertainment. It's specifically labeled for your Christmas fund. So I want you to do that. I know you can do it, and you're going to thank me later. Once Christmas comes and you have that money there, or you've already purchased your gifts, you're going to be so glad that you started saving and included that in your budget in June. And you'll see that that's going to be so effective for you, and you're going to like it. So every year you can start. Just think, if you start a year in advance saving for Christmas, just $10, $20, you can save $500 to $1,000 easily toward your Christmas holiday. So if you haven't started, I encourage you today to start today. It's never too late. It's never too late to start saving for Christmas. And then back on another note, back on the 4th of July, they have the Freedom Festival works from Detroit and Windsor. Oh, the Freedom Festival, the fireworks. Oh my gosh, those are an amazing event. But there again, it's part of your budget. You have to save for that. In Hart Plaza, it's free to get down there, but then there's the food, and then there's the holiday things that you get, the hats and the lights and everything. So keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. I did talk about budgeting and fun into your budget last week, because you don't want to. The best way to help you to stick with your budget and be serious is to plan for the fun things, plan for the blow money, plan for the things that you're going to be able to just have fun for. So consider that being part of your holiday that is coming up. So we're saving for Christmas. We're getting ready for the holiday that's coming up. If you're driving somewhere, notice that gas prices do go up. So you're going to have to factor in that into your budget as well. So that's where we are. So how wonderful it is. Just think about it. Once you have all your money saved toward Christmas, how wonderful it is to have more money than time. How about that? You saved and you saved, and then there's going to be a time for you to go save. And that's going to be exciting too, because you budgeted for it and it didn't affect your regular budget. The quote for today, we have a quote for today, and it's by Jonathan Swift. And the quote is, "A wise man should have money in his head, but not in his heart." So you want to have money as a thought, and because every day there are money issues and you have to think about it, but don't get it into your heart, because the love of money is the root of all evil, and you don't want to ever love money. You just want to have it in your heart. Know that money is a tool and it's a resource for you to obtain and to live and to do things. So that is our quote for today. So hopefully you're taking your notes, jotting down, remember the important points we talked about. Also, we want to review a few things from last week, a few points, and not many, about last week, because you can always log in later and see what happened and what we talked about last week. So for this week, if you took the first step, we're building and we're developing a budget. If you took the first step, in creating the budget is by identifying all the sources of our income. That was our very first assignment, all our income. whether it was regular or irregular. You say, what's that? Well, view the other shows and we'll break down the regular and irregular income. We've identified all our spending, all of our expenses. That was the second part. Last week we compared and we determined if our expenses are less than our income. So we spend less than the money we bring in, then that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a sweet spot. That's where you want to be. You want to get to that place that you spend less than you bring in. And on the other hand, there is a reality for some, and the reality for some is that their expenses exceed their spending exceed what they bring in, and that's not a good situation. But there's good news. You can make it better. We are working on ways to reduce spending, reduce costs, and we'll go over a few more of those things. But the key to a successful budget is to spend less than you earn. That's the bottom line, to spend less than you earn. And with the extra money that you get, we're going to use that extra money. Once we get our budget balanced and once we get it to the point where we're spending less and we're bringing in more than we're spending, what we're going to do is we're going to begin to save. We're going to begin to pay down debt. Remember, we are going to spend every dollar on paper, and we're telling it where to go. So we're spending all of our income that comes in on a regular basis, and we're telling it where to go. But when we have extra, and where we've already exceeded our income with our expenses, the extra amount, we're going to tell it to go to savings. We're going to tell it to go to pay down debt. We're going to tell it to go to a place that's going to help us get in a better place financially where we have no debt. And if you don't have any debt, I applaud you. That's excellent, great. Stay in that vein of no debt. But if you find yourself in a situation where you do have debt, then what I want you to do is we're going to begin to reduce our spending so that we can eliminate debt. Keep in mind and then we're going to start our saving plan. Our saving thing, we want to start to build our first goal is to save for an emergency fund. An emergency fund, unexpectedly, things always seem to come up. And if you notice, more time than not, when you're prepared and already have a cushion or money or something to help you when those times come, most of the time they don't come that often. But if you don't have the money or you're not prepared for a situation, then you'll notice that unexpected things will happen just out of nowhere, and you'll be like, oh, I'm not prepared for that. So what we want to do is we want to build an emergency fund. If you're married, we're going to ask you to start out with $1,000 minimum for your emergency fund. We want to have this money set aside, whether you're going to have it in a bank account or you're going to develop an envelope system for that as well. You can get an envelope for your emergency fund where you just continue to put money into it and fund it and feed it until you get to the place and reach the goal of $1,000. If you're single, we're going to ask you to get a minimum emergency fund of $500. That's just a minimum, just to have a cushion in case something comes up unexpectedly. Your car breaks down, something breaks in your house, or anything, just unexpected something that's going to cost money. And how many most of the time when things unexpected happen, it usually costs you money. So you want to have this extra fund set aside. And remember, what we're doing is reducing our expenses and our spending so that we'll have a little extra to put in that savings every week. Main thing you would do, we want to be consistent. Be consistent consistently, even if it's a small amount, because a small amount, it adds up. So don't be don't be upset or shaken when you say all I can save is $5, all I can save is $1. Well, $1 a day, if you save $1 a day, that's $365 in a year. So keep that in mind. A little bit adds up, and as you can increase it. I know we also talked about change. We get loose change all the time. When we go to the store and we purchase things, you'll have loose change. Find a place for that loose change. Separate your pennies from your silver money and put them in separate places, and then let that accumulate. You will be surprised in a couple of weeks, with a couple of months, how that adds up. So that's another way you can save. You can say, well, all this change that I'm saving here is going to go toward a certain project or a certain item, or it's going to go towards my emergency fund. So there are other ways. Bottle returns. People, we pay in Michigan, we have to pay a deposit when we buy certain beverages. So think about that. Don't throw that can away or that bottle away. Let them accumulate. Don't be ashamed to take back bottles because it's money. You paid for it when you purchased it and you weren't ashamed. So why be ashamed to return it? That's another way of saving that accumulates. So many people have that as well. So keep that in mind. I know you're doing fine. We're going to eliminate waste. We're going to try to lower our regular monthly bills. We talked about that last week. I know. It's a lot we're talking about. But you can do it. I know you do because you have a goal. Your goal is to develop your budget and take the worry out of your money. As I say so often, there are 55% of Americans who worry about their money every day. So 5 out of 10 people, and perhaps that number could be higher, worry about money. We want to take the worry out, and we want to gain control, and we're going to tell our money where to go, and we're going to tell our money how to grow. How about that? We want to tell it where to go and how to grow. So remember, keep in mind you're budgeting for the fun stuff. We talked about that. We talked about the envelope system. So that kind of concludes the review for last week. You feel free to log back in at a later date and see the previous shows on demand. They're there to help you, and they're there for a resource. So feel free to go back and review the full show, and you can be able to review some of the things that we've talked about in detail as far as how to track your income, how to track your spending, and how to start developing that budget. Be sure to call a friend, tell them that we're on the air, and we were going to take a short little break. And remember, during the break times, you'll hear music. You may not see me, but you hear music. I'm not going anywhere, just taking a short little break here so that give you time to refresh your drink, your beverage, give you time to call someone, let them know that Real Money Matters is on the air. And we are excited that you're tuning in, taking the time to review these shows each and every week, and that will allow you to help you gain control of your financial situation, your financial life. We take control of every area of our lives, our health. Our financial area is as important as too, because it weighs on our mental state of being. So we want you to be able to take control of your finances and know exactly where every dollar is. And I tell you, it's so important to identify it. Once you write it down and identify it, you will be so surprised. You'll be like, where is this money going? And it's almost like a game where you'll just be able to say, where's this money going? You want to be able to track it and know that you are making good choices with your finances, and that you're doing the best you can to make the best choices that will reduce your spending. And some things, we can be creative. We can be very creative in our spending and how we use coupons. I know that people use coupons that able to reduce your bill when you go and you're paying at the grocery store and buying things. It's a wonderful feeling once you go to the register and you give them all those coupons and all those amounts come down, and you go from a double-digit bill to a single-digit bill. I'll tell you, that is just the most wonderful feeling to be able to. And then that also goes with your bottle returns. We talked about the bottle returns as well, and being able to reduce your bill and reduce your spending and make wise choices and shop when things are on sale. It's always good to catch a good sale. Check the paper, check your email. Nowadays, they send you emails when things are on sale. Certain stores, if you sign up and have their card, that savings card that they give you that takes off the savings, the things that are on sale, they'll send you emails. So watch your sales papers and be able to monitor when things go on sale, especially things that you prefer and you eat, and that will help you also in reducing your spending. There are ways to destroy your budget. Well, I want to talk about that a little bit. By not following or sticking to your budget, that destroys your budget. You spend all the time and energy. You took all the time and energy and effort to track your income, to track your spending. Don't just sit it on the shelf. It's only going to work if you work it. I say so often, you have to actively participate in the process. Actively participate in the process. You have to do it. You're doing the work, and so you don't want to just have it just sitting on the shelf or hiding in a notebook somewhere. What you want to do is you want to review it regularly. Put it somewhere that you frequent every day, that you'll see that perhaps, maybe someone else in the house you don't want to see. But like in the bathroom, if you have your own private bathroom, put it next to the mirror. I know you look in the mirror every day. I know you look to see how you're looking before you leave the house. So, put it there. Put it in your car. Or put it someplace, even maybe perhaps on your job if you have a private office that no one comes in. Or just put it even in your phone. We put so much things in our phones. Email it to yourself. Have it in your phone. Refresh yourself on your budget and your goals as far as where you want to go financially. So that'll be a way to help you. Put it somewhere where you can see it, and then you can see if you need to make adjustments. Maybe you put something down for groceries that was maybe more than what you normally would spend. So then that would allow you to use that money and go somewhere else. Like I said, every month is different. Every month is different, and so you have to monitor it, and you have to take it personal, and you have to take it serious if you want to gain control of your finances and be able to tell your money where to go and it not just leave without your permission. Another way to destroy your budget is impulse spending. Oh, just something we've all done. You just can be in line waiting to pay for something, and they have all these little things at the checkout register that catch your attention, a magazine or a gadget or something like that. So you have to be strong, and you have to avoid impulse spending. You just got to learn to say no, especially when you're not in that budget area, when it's not budgeted into your list. When you go to the store, make a list and stick with it. Separate your needs versus your wants. When you're in the store, do you need this or do you want this? Do you need another pair of shoes or do you just want another one because it's a different color, but it's the same style? Shop alone. Sometimes when you have your children, they can be influencing you to buy, I want this cereal, I want that cereal, or I want this particular item, I want this. Shop for your children, even with their clothes. I know with my daughter, as she gets older, a lot of times we need to have her to go to the store with us, so that she can, fit it or whatever. But it's almost better to just buy something and take it home and, gauge that they can wear it, opposed to taking them to the store, because I guarantee you if you take them to the store, it's going to cost more than what you probably have budgeted for. So those are little things. Don't go shopping with a friend. Your friends can get you in trouble. They can, especially if they're not in a place, especially say if you're married and they're single and maybe they don't have the responsibilities you have, and they can just buy stuff randomly and be okay because their expenses aren't what yours are. That could be a little pressure for you. So shop alone, when you can. That's another way to avoid destroying your budget. Another way is to, of course, never go to the grocery store hungry. I know we talked about that before. When you're hungry and you're at the grocery store, it doesn't matter what your list says, because your stomach is talking for you, telling you what to buy. And you'll find yourself buying stuff you probably don't normally use or normally eat just because you're hungry. So keep that in mind as well. Also, when you go shopping, if you find something you can't live without, it's like, I just gotta have it. Walk around the store for a while. Don't just buy it right away. That's another impulse thing. If you just see something, if you walk around the store and talk to someone before who told me, they'll walk around the store with this item, and by the time at the end of the day they may have a basket full of stuff, and just walking through the store, they realize, you know what, I don't really need this. This is not something I really need. So just give yourself a moment, think about it. Do a Selah, if you find something that you wanted to purchase, sleep on it, leave the store, don't even stay there, just walk out and just say no, and then go home and think about it and see if you really need it. And once you get home, you'll say, well, you know what, I didn't really need that item anyways. So these are ways and keys and points to help you in cutting back and destroying your budget by making decisions that will cause your budget to be out of balance. And so we want you to think about those for a minute, take a few moments, refresh your drink, get your stretch and take a break there, and call somebody, let them know Real Money Matters is on the air. And while we're having this break here, you'll hear some music. You won't see my face, you'll hear some music, but I will be right back, so just hold on, and we'll be right back in just a moment to continue Real Money Matters. Thank you. Welcome back to Real Money Matters. Hopefully you had a time to refresh yourself and tune into the second part of the program so you can get some more interesting tips and points on how to gain control of your finances. Once again, we were talking about ways before the break. We were talking about ways to help you, things that will destroy your budget, and things we were talking about. And so keep some of those things in mind. There was a couple of other points I wanted to make about that. Think about this and consider this. How about when you're, thinking about those impulse buyings and things that you just feel like you just can't live without, that you just have to have, how about if you consider this? Why don't you think on this matter as far as, well, if I don't spend this on this particular item right now, that'll only be temporary pleasure to me, it'll only be like, something that's going to, give me joy for this second. Think about using that money. That's money that you can save towards perhaps a vacation or a big purchase item that you've been wanting, for a long time, so avoid the little bitty things. You get a whole bunch of little things. They can accumulate into and develop into that big purchase item that you so desire, even more so than the little things. So think about that. When you have an item that you feel like, I just got to get it because it's on sale, and just because something's on sale doesn't mean you have to buy it, because are you going to get it? It's going to sit in your closet, it's going to sit on the shelf, or it's just going to sit, in your house and not be useless. And not be useful, I should say, just because it was on sale and it cost $5. But if it's not going to benefit or add quality to your life, why add it to your life? That could be $5 sitting there, $10, $20, or whatever the cost is that's sitting there that you could have used toward your vacation. You might want to plan a big trip to Hawaii, or you want to plan a cruise for your family or something like that. I know this past February, I was able to take my daughter and my mother, and we went on a cruise, but I planned for that like way in advance, like a year in advance, and I started thinking about actually in July of last year, presenting it to my mom for Christmas as a Christmas gift for her. And my daughter had no idea because my mom had never been on a cruise. So I was able to start last year. I started in July and I began to plan it, and in December I was able, at Christmas time, able to give the itinerary and show her name, say, hey, in February you're going on this cruise, so think about that. So when you think about impulse spending, or also on this wise. Think of it in this way. Well, perhaps I can use that, and that'll get me out of debt. Instead of spending this money on something that's going to bring me temporary pleasure right now, I can use this to help to eliminate some debt. We're going to talk about debt snowballing in the shows to come, where you take your smallest debt that you owe and you begin to pay that off. And after you pay that off, you use the money you use to pay that, as well as what your minimum payment you're paying on the next biggest item that is a credit item, that you're going to reduce it even quickly. And that's why it's called snowballing. But we'll talk more about that a little later. So I want you to keep that in mind. The purpose of all of this, all of these tips and everything that I'm suggesting, and I want you to consider, and then perhaps you have some tips of your own, or maybe some things that you do that works for you that you want to share, and so that we can tell others other points, because there's so many resources out there, and there's so many ideas that others have that you can share with them as well, and we can all help one another in cutting back and giving tips that are going to help us to reduce our spending so that we can eliminate debt and we can start saving. And then once we start that emergency fund saving, we talked about the emergency fund saving, those who have children, you want to start saving toward their college. Oh my goodness, college is very expensive, and so those are items, bigger items. We're going to look into saving as well for college. Those who have, like I said, children that are going to school. Of course, we want to get scholarships and grants and things of that nature too. But even with all of that, you're still going to need money, because they're going to need a place to live. They're going to need food, and they're going to need a vehicle, a car. Once you have teenagers and they start driving, they're going to have a car and insurance. So those are things, we're planning for in the future. But what we want to do, we want to plan now. We want to think about that stuff now. So when we get an impulse that we just want to spend some money, just arbitrarily, think about the responsibilities that you have ahead of you, and that you want to get out of debt, because I know that you would feel so much better not having any debt, or even having some savings somewhere set aside just in case anything comes up. You would be prepared for it financially, and that would take the mental stress away from you as well. So let's make that budget. Let's work on that budget. We'll talk more about it each week, because we want to make sure that you're informed, and that we're here to support you, to help you develop a budget that works for you. Remember, it's yours. It's customized to your income, your spending, and it's tailor-made to you, and you have to actively participate in the process. Now we want to do a few little fun facts here, and I'm going to need you to respond to me by email to let me know what you think. I ran across a little piece of paper that talked about if you take a penny and double it each day for 30 days. So think about it. If you take 1 penny and each day you double it, at the end of 30 days, do you know how much money you would have? Think about it. Figure it out. I'm not going to tell you this week, but you can tune in next week and I'll let you know. But I want you to email me. So what do you mean? So let's think about it. So on day 1, say you have 1 penny. Okay? Day 2, you're going to take that penny and you're going to double it. So on day 2, you'll have 2 pennies. Okay? 2 cents. So day 3, you're going to take your 2 cents and you're going to double that. And what are you going to have? You're going to have 4 cents. Then we get to day 4. You're going to double your 4 cents and you're going to have 8 cents. And then on day 5, you double your 8 cents. What do you have? 16 cents. So you see the process and how it goes. So at day 6, you're going to double your day 5 and it's going to give you 32 cents. I'm taking you all the way up to day 10. So then day 7, you're going to double your 32 cents and you'll have 64 cents. Then on day 8, you will double your 64 cents and you'll have 128 pennies, which equal $1.28. You see the pattern there? So after day 8, you get to day 9. So you got $1.28 at day 8. At day 9, you're going to have $2.56, 256 pennies. You see the process? So by the time you get to day 10, you're going to double your 256 pennies. It's going to give you 512 pennies. So we're talking about each day, whatever that day was, you double it. So you're going to have $5.12 at the end of 10 days. So what I want you to do is calculate and do the math. Continue that process for 30 days and see how much you think you will have at the end of 30 days. I'm not going to tell you today. I want you to email me your answer, and then I want you to tune in next week and see if you got the right answer. Yes, I want to hear from you. You can reach me via email at realmoneymatters@rachelrkennedy.com. Email me. I want you to figure that out. We're taking a penny and doubling it each day. And at the end of 30 days, how much money do you think you're going to have? And hopefully you get the right answer. And I'd like you to email me. I'll read your name on the air if you are one of the ones who get the correct answer. And I'm going to give you that answer next week. Email me, Real Money Matters, RachelRKennedy.com. Real Money Matters at RachelRKennedy.com. And so tune in next week and find out. You'll be amazed. I promise you, you'll be amazed. Also, we want to give you some tips on business. I know a few shows ago we talked about business and starting a business. I'm really big on entrepreneurship and you starting businesses and making them successful, and knowing all the ins and outs of the business as well. So today I want to go over a few tips with you concerning business and starting a business and things that hopefully will help you succeed. There's so much we can do and so many opportunities that are out there. And I believe initially when I talked about you starting a business, you first got to have an idea. You have to have a service. You have a product. You have to have something to meet the demand of the public or to meet the demand of a particular market. And it's something I was just talking to my husband today, and he was just telling me about this lady who makes clothes for dogs. She doesn't even own a dog, but she makes clothes for dogs, and there's a market for that. People love their dogs. They love their pets, and for some that don't have children, they're children to them. And even for those that do have children, they become family members. We've had dogs for years, and, they're just part of the family. They are. But some people go to the extreme, and, well, I wouldn't say it may be extreme for me, but it's not extreme for them, where they want to buy clothes and things of that nature for their dogs. I remember my goddaughter has a dog, and one time we went and bought him some special snacks from this special pet store. They had like French fries style dog food kind of thing, and the dog wouldn't even eat it. It was too fancy for him or something, I don't know. But all I'm saying is you have to have a product. It can be unique. It can be something that perhaps you're already doing, but do what you love. If I could admonish you in anything in business, do what you love. You're going to develop a lot. You're going to devote a lot of time and attention and energy to building this, so it's going to help you if you love doing it. You're going to have a lot of long hours, a lot of hard work. It's important for you to enjoy what you do. So think about that. Think about something you enjoy doing and can make money at it as well. It could be cooking, or it could be painting. It could be taxes. It could be, like I said, making clothes for dogs, or even clothes for dolls, or anything pertaining to children, but it's got to be something you like. When you start your business, make sure you still employed while you're starting your business. Don't just quit your job, because you're going to need perhaps some of that money to help you invest in the business and help you to develop the business. So you're going to need some overhead and some initial costs that are going to be involved in starting your business. So you don't want to quit your job. If you have a job, continue your job. I remember on my first show, I had Bishop Jackson on the show, and he talked about business, and he's a successful businessman, and he's had several businesses, and he made a very important point that I thought was so crucial, and I think about it often. He said, when you start a business, it's a baby, and you have to feed it. It's an infant. It's in an infancy stage, and so you have to feed it. When it first starts, you're constantly giving. You can't take from that baby or that business at the beginning, because you have to invest in it, and you have to help it to grow and help it to mature. And once it becomes mature, then you can live off of it. It can support you. But in the beginning, it's a baby, and we have to think about it. And I thought that was a great analogy, so I just wanted to share that with you as well. So keep that in mind. Keep your job, keep your day job. Find a way to work around those hours. Schedule time. I know what helps me is that with my business, what helps me is, having a calendar and scheduling time, even time to do my own business. I take care of other people's books and other people's matters and monies and situation, and I manage it and whatnot. Then I have to set aside time and make appointments to do my own personal stuff as well, because otherwise I will find myself in a situation where I would need help. So don't forget about yourself when you're budgeting, or when you're scheduling time for clients and different ones, that you schedule time for your own business to make sure that your records are straight and in order as well. So that's another point, and we're talking about points and tips in starting a business and things you need to know. Get a support group. Don't do it alone. Get yourself a support group, whether it's your spouse, a friend, a relative, your mom, or your sibling, or someone like that, someone that's objective, that you can bounce things off of, that you can tell your ideas to, and who can perhaps shoot back some ideas to you. And you need to be open. Be open to good sound wisdom, good sound judgment. Know that it is your business, and so you want it to be true to yourself and your goals, but then you also want to be able to hear other people's perspective, because other people have good points as well. Find yourself a mentor. Find somebody who's already doing what it is you want to do, and maybe you can be under them and can follow their success and how they're successful. It's always good to have someone who's already successful in business that can help you and coach you along the way too. That is invaluable, those kind of relationships. So you want to do that. So don't be alone. Get some help. Another point is to get your clients and your customers first. Even though you may not have everything in order, start networking. They have different networking groups for different markets. I know they have them for women, for men, for different associations, say for if you're an accountant or a CPA or a bookkeeper, or they have different groups and marketing networks for those different kind markets. So you want to find a networking group, supports that have like minds as far as business, as well as make contacts. Start selling and giving away some of your samples of your product. That's a way to get people hooked. If you have a product that is good, just start giving them a sample. Get a little bit, give them a little sample of what you can do. And then, and the more you give, you'll find that people will like it. And once people like your product or your service, I guarantee you they're going to tell somebody else. If they're satisfied with it, then they're going to tell someone else. So we want you to make sure you sample your products. Don't wait till you have everything officially. Just test your market. Test your market and see if you have people, who's going to like what you have to offer, and then you have to identify the people that you are trying to target, your target market. That's another area. Write a business plan. That can help you avoid spending a lot of time and money and put into something if it's something that's not going to look good on paper. If it doesn't look good on paper, most likely, it may not be successful. So you want to write you a business plan, put all the thought into it, to see think it in and out. Go over it with, like your mentor, or over with somebody that can be objective, who's already doing, that's business minded. You want to hook up with people, or you want to get with people who have business minds. You don't want to just hook up with somebody that just wants, just doesn't even have an interest in business, or not even interested. You want someone that's a thinker, and someone that will think out the box. And that's what I appreciate about my husband. He thinks out the box, and that helps me because I tend to be more conservative in my thoughts. But he brings a different perspective, and you have to be open for that, and you have to be able to receive that kind of thing. So do your research. Like I said, become an expert on your industry. Whatever it is, the industry or your product, you need to become an expert at it. Perhaps you're already doing what you want to do for somebody else. I was an accountant for years for other people, managing other people's books and doing other people's things, and I love doing that. And so now I do it for my own clients, and I get my own clients. And you don't want to create a conflict of interest with your current employer or anything of that nature. But if you have skills and talents, maybe you're a writer, maybe you can do graphic design. There's an array of things that you may be doing that you just love doing it. Well, think about being a contractor and outsourcing your services and getting your own clients and building your own client base. And those things, if you love doing it, I tell you, if you enjoy doing it, it's going to pay off for it, and you're going to love it. Find something you would do even if you didn't get paid. That would be amazing. I keep people, I just find something you would love to do and you would do it whether you get paid or not. But the key is to get paid, and you need to find your price base and how you determine what your prices are, because somebody out there is probably already doing it. So you can see what the market is and what your price range is, and based on that you can figure how many hours or how many clients or how many items you need to sell. So those are things, the numbers you want to work through, because you want to figure out what your revenue potential could be. And then also you want to figure out, well, what is it going to cost you to get that kind of revenue? Because there is going to be an expense and a cost involved. The thing about service businesses is less cost involved, because most of it is your physical time, or you driving or going somewhere of that nature. A lot of things are online. You can look them up. You don't even have to go a lot of places. With service businesses, your overhead tends to be lesser than if you're selling a product. When you sell a product, then you tend to have the overhead, because sometimes you have to have the inventory. But I know nowadays a lot of the internet businesses, you don't have to stock the inventory and have it on hand, because it's stored in another place, and then they can just deliver it directly. So the internet, if you can find a business on the internet, that is a wonderful way to go. You don't have to leave your home, and you can still get ideas there's so many business opportunities out there, and all you have to do is you have to work it. The other thing you need to do after you've done the research, you need to get professional help. What I mean professional help, you need to get a CPA, you need to get an attorney, you need to get people or a tax preparer, someone that maybe that has the expertise that you don't have. You may have you want to concentrate on your business and growing your business, and you don't want to find yourself in a legal situation or a tax situation because you're trying to figure it out and understand it. If that's not your area of expertise, it's worth it to pay those people, I'm telling you, to do those things for you, because it's going to bring you a peace of mind that you've gotten it right the first time. Because I tell you, to go back and fix something is going to cost you even more money and more time. And so your business can't afford that in the beginning, but you cannot afford not to have a good accountant or a good bookkeeper. When you're first starting out, maybe you'll go the route of a bookkeeper. You don't necessarily need a CPA unless you're dealing with banks and lenders and things of that nature, and they want a certified public accountant to prepare those documents for you. But get you a good bookkeeper, get you a good tax preparer, someone that can help you pay the least amount of tax that's possible and get all the deductions that you need. And, you may not be aware of those things. So don't be afraid to get help, because those things are going to help your business be successful. Get the money lined up that you need to start your business. Get your savings. We're working on your budgets and things where you can spend less than you bring in. Start saving towards your business. Let that be one of the envelopes. We talk about the envelope system, that you're going to use this money for your business, because you need startup costs. You're going to need to get your business cards and your letterhead. You're going to need to look professional. You're going to need to be able to present yourself well, and that's going to cost you money. If you can't get you a good website, people, look at you on the internet, and so you want to have a good representation of your business and who you are. Look for other investors besides banks. A lot of times bankers don't like to invest in new startup businesses, but there are organizations and groups out there that will. So you do the research. It's out there and it's available, and you have to be willing to look it out and search it out. If you really want to do business, I so encourage it. You can do it. It may seem like it's a lot. It seems like I'm telling you a lot, but it'll be fulfilling for you to know that you're your own boss. Wouldn't you love to be your own boss? You to be the CEO, the CFO, the COO, all of those of your own business. And it'll be rewarding and fulfilling. And I encourage you, if you have children, let your children work in the business with you. There are even deductions you can give. You can pay them, and that'll be a business deduction where you don't have to pay taxes on that income. So those are just a few little things. Make sure you treat people professional. Be courteous. Learn customer service. Customer service is so important. If you treat your clients right, they will come back to you. Your product may or may not be the best out there, but if they love your service, they will come back to you. I tell you, people love good service. Just think about yourself. You love good service. You go to a restaurant, if a waitress is not courteous and friendly and they just throw you food, you're not happy with that kind of service, So just think about yourself. And so think of your client as you, and you want to service your clients well, because then they'll come back and they'll like you. And guess what? People who like you will give you money. If they don't like you, they don't want to give you any money. So you want to be likable to your clients. You want to be presentable, and you want to be professional, and you want to give them the best service or product that you have. And if you can't service a client properly, it's best to walk away from that client, I'm telling you, because then you'll save face for yourself and for your business, and it won't be an issue. So keep that in mind. Like I said, get the legal and tax issues right the first time. You don't want to have any problems, because with your business, you may need to have a license. I don't know. Depends on what you go into. You may have to do payroll taxes if you have employee situations. And if all that stuff sounds foreign, then you need to hire somebody that can help you with that kind of thing. You might have to do workers' compensation. That's for your employees if you have employees. You have to determine your business structures. There are business structures that you have. You have the sole proprietor, and I'm not going to get into all the details of it, but there are tax implications for each entity of your business structure. You have the sole proprietorship, you have partnerships, you have corporations, you have an S corp, and you have a C corp. What's all of that? You have limited liability corporations. So you have to figure out what business structure works for you, and you have to get more knowledge on that. And I have good news on that part, because we're going to be having a seminar real soon breaking down those different corporate structures that your business can have, and some of the other detailed things that you need to manage your business on the legal part and on the accounting part. So stay tuned, and that'll be coming up soon, and I'll give you more information about that, because entrepreneurship is my heart, and I would love to help you start your business. If you have a product or a service, I'll show you how to manage your books. I'll show you how to pick the corporate structure that's going to work best for you. And we'll go into more details on that. So we're going to have a seminar on that soon coming up. So stay tuned and listen. In upcoming shows, I will be announcing that soon. So today, we covered an array of things, and I'm so glad that you tuned in. As always, I'd love to hear from you. You can contact me via email at realmoneymatters@rachelrkennedy.com. Feel free what I need from you is I need you to decide. Everything to start is with a decision. Decide that you're going to do this. You're going to balance your budget. You're going to start your business. You can do this. Others have done it, and you can do it as well. And once you make that decision, you have to commit to that decision, because once you commit to that decision, you can't help but to be successful. And when you're successful, I'm successful because I've helped you, and that is what I want to do. And that's why I come each week here, is to be a help to you and a resource for you. So I love to hear from you. Again, you can reach me via email at realmoneymatters@richardkennedy.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to log back in, review this show and previous shows if you missed any. Let your friends, let your neighbors. If this information has helped you, just think it could help someone else as well. So until next week, I'm so glad you tuned in. Thank you for watching Real Money Matters. And remember that you can take the worry out of your money and give it direction. Your money matters. It matters what you save. It matters what you make. It matters how you manage what's been entrusted to you. Until next week, thank you for tuning in.